Welcome to the 9th episode of CANversations, where we will talk about the CAN's history and how it all started. We are very curious to know how an invention of this size is born. In the studio today, we have Harald Strand for Neodrill, and Siri, the non-technical facilitator, and our guest today, Harald Strand. He is the reason for CAN being born in the first place. So we are very excited to hear everything about this, Harald. But first, introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Harald Strand. I'm just a simple farm boy that happened to take technical education. And I think I can say that I was the first Norwegian diploma engineer or master engineer to take his education in drilling and production. I finished my education in 73, 74 and started working for Shell. Had some 7 fantastic years with Shell in the beginning. Started off here in Norway, where we then drilled the discovery wells for Alba Shell. Also a bit on the British side for the discovery wells for Brent. There was a lot of coring going on, a lot of night work, and a lot of fun. After a year, I was then getting a posting to Borneo. And I remember I had to call my wife and ask her to find where is Brunei on Borneo. And she told me, and I asked, do you want to go with me there? And she said yes. And after a couple of months, we found ourselves on Borneo. I working as a drilling engineer for Shell. I spent 3.5 very interesting years down there, drilling wells offshore, platform wells, subsea wells, jack-up wells, and also wells in the jungle. And actually, I think the core of the idea of pre-installing conductor for North Sea wells was born down there, because I could see there that a conductor was installed before the rig arrived. So everything was prepared, and the land rig could then just reverse in, erect the derrick, and start drilling. So that was an efficient method, and I saw later on that the conductor installation method, subsea, was very much more complicated than this.
But Harald, you're rushing here now. We need to know more about you, Harald. So you had obviously a long history there in the drilling industry, but I want to go even further back, because you did your first, you said, the diploma in drilling, and where were that? Which school did you go to?
No, I went to the University of Clausthal in Germany, and very few of us know that they even drilled the first oil well in Germany before Colonel Drake did it in America. So Germany is actually a very old oil nation. Today there is probably nothing produced onshore, at least in Germany. But they had good technology, they had good university, specialized for drilling and production. I started off as a mechanical engineering student in Trondheim, in Norway. And after 3 years, they offered student places in other universities, amongst them Clausthal in Germany. And I jumped onto it, and I never regretted that. But being a mechanical engineering student, I had always taken an interest in the new industry coming up in Norway, the oil industry. And actually, the first well ever started in Norway was spudded on my 20th birthday, on the 19th of July in 1966. So for me, it was a new industry, very interesting. I wanted to jump onto that one.
So you've always been eager to seek challenges and new development. And was that something in your family, or is it just a way of your being?
No, I'm grown up on a farm, and a farmer can't afford to bring broken equipment to a workshop. You have to fix it yourself. So that was, say, in my hands to fix it. So I became a practical engineer. I'm not a good calculating engineer, but you have the opposite as well. So a combination with a theoretical calculating engineer and a sort of practical engineer, that's how inventions are created, I think. But you very seldom find a combination of two in one person.
For growing up in a farm, you need to be creative.
Yes, creative, and you need to fix things yourself.
Yeah. With what you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Need to be a problem solver.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, so that's good. So you studied in Germany. Have you kept your German language? Or?
Also, ja. Das habe ich.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Of course, it was a fantastic time, but we had to do all the studies work in German, and my diploma thesis was also done in German. I had to translate it actually into English afterwards. So. But yes, I'm still keeping my German. Good fun.
So that was a steep learning curve. Then you had to learn a new language and do a master's in engineering. Yeah.
And but actually, I married in the spring before moving to Germany, so I had to hurry up and finish my studies. Yeah. So I couldn't fool around and keep drinking and having fun in the nights.
That's probably what saved you there, Harald.
Yeah. That's right.
That's good.
Did she go with you to Germany?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah. You were always.
So we got our second child in Germany, and we got our third child on Borneo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you?
So after Borneo, I spent a year and a half or so in Aberdeen, working a lot with wellhead-related problems. We had the first tieback system, I think, ever in the North Sea there, and I was a project engineer, and we were exposed to all kind of problems related to wellheads.
Yeah.
So. Then I jumped off Shell in 1980 and joined Hydro. And there I started as heading up the drilling engineering organization and ended up as heading up the drilling organization here in Stavanger. And then we were about 200 people. And at top we had 3 CMIs working for us. So I had to then approve all the drilling programs and so on, and also help educating the new employees. So it was a good, nice time.
Absolutely. And what I hear, Harald, is that you had plenty of opportunity to actually spot challenges or problems. And back to you were sort of rushing ahead of us there, but so I heard you were pulling some experiences from Borneo and, talking about some experience on a subsea tieback in the UK. And I envisaged that, okay, Harald, he's been out there, he's been seeing a lot of things. And then tell us also back to your Borneo history there. And so where do you your initial thoughts of how can we improve these subsea wells?
I think that has been, in the back of my mind always. But maybe one curiosity I could mention. I've been lucky. I was out on Alexander Kielland the night before it capsized. The reason being that Kielland should start working for Shell in Aberdeen, and we should use it for a high-pressure well. The fact that Kielland then got out of the question, we had to find another rig for doing the high-pressure well drilling. And there was no other rig equipped with high-pressure equipment, but we had the BOP. So then we had to find a way of doing it. And that was my first patent, actually, where we used co-flexip hoses all the way from the BOP up to surface. And
for the choke and kill lines?
For the choke and kill lines.
Uh-huh.
And it worked, and we drilled a well. So that was an interesting and very satisfying job for me, because the company accepted it and did it.
But today it's stiff pipes, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes. But this was an emergency situation. We had to drill that well, high-pressure well, that summer, and hence we had to find a solution.
And then the farmer hits the strike.
Yes. So, yeah.
And as I understand now, that solution is now a new standard, or
No. This was a side.
It was a one-off.
Yeah.
One-off, yeah. But that's it sparked something in you then. It sparked something in you.
Yeah. It was my first patent together with co-flexip.
Yeah.
And we even had a paper in Houston on OTC on it.
Yeah. Cool.
So there has been quite a few things.
Is there a next moment that you can tell us about? In where there was an invention happening?
There are so many.
Because inventions are small things that you are always improving as well.
We had also when developing the Oseberg field, I think partly based on the experience from Shell in Aberdeen, where we pre-drilled and tied back wells to save time. This was also adapted for Oseberg. And there was a big template placed out, supplied by Vetco. And we drilled maybe a handful of wells before we placed the steel jacket on top of it. And we then tied the wells back, and we opened production on that field before schedule. And I think we even beat some others to it. And this was very important for Hydro. I think Hydro was seen as being an innovative drilling operator at that time.
Yeah, fantastic. Interesting. But then, Harald, back to why we're here today. So, and as you said, you were looking at challenges on these wells, and top hole development was one of these areas.
Yeah.
And so how did you come about this thinking then? A little bit more into details of that.
Yeah. Of course, it is the job of a drilling engineer to drill the wells in the safest and most cost-efficient way. And of course, then I had more than 30 years experience, directly onto this area with well foundations and so on. And I saw that the conductor, which is the well foundation, had become an Achilles heel of well design. because there was problems with fatigue, there was problem with stiffness, it was problem with installation, because you were never sure of where the top of cement was, quality of cement, and so on. And at that time, I think 1 out of something like 12 wells had to be restarted because of conductor failures. So it was obviously a field to be investigated. It was considered to be not to be high tech. It was unsexy, so nobody wanted to do anything about it. So, but I found it very interesting, and I started fiddling with it myself, because then I was self-employed, no big oil company to support or anything, and I took a fascination or a challenge to make this better, and I looked around. How could we do it in another way? And then there was already suction anchors on the market, and early 2000 there were also getting in new installation vessels with heave-compensated cranes and dynamic positioning. So this was a starting point, and I started sketching out a solution. And then it took a few years before I could test out my ideas. And the background for that was Eni's problem with the well they had on Sklinna, because in December 2004 there was a horrible storm, and the Ocean Vanguard lost 2 anchors and drifted off, and doing so, it also permanently bent the conductor about 9 degrees, ripped off the riser and dropped it to the seabed. So this was a catastrophe. And Eni had to re-drill the well later on, and at the enormous cost for the insurance company, I think. About 2 years later, Eni wanted to drill 2 deepwater wells around 1,000 meter water depth. And they didn't want this to reappear with a bent conductor. So then we started discussing this, and at the end, they bought my ideas. So 2006, we installed the first 2 cans. And believe me, I was very proud to see that now we are finally there. We are getting it into the sea. So this was a primitive solution in many ways, also installed over the stern roller of a supply vessel with an A-frame. But we made it, and Eni was very happy at the end. But then the superintendent, he told me afterwards that he didn't inform Milan about the cans before we had finished the wells. So
they took a chance.
Yeah, he really stuck out his neck for this new development. So I'm very pleased with that, and grateful to Mauro for
Suvo,
Mauro Suvo. Yeah. So I've spoken to him afterwards about this, and he also is happy about what happened at that time.
And you said it's a simple solution. You actually have the solution here with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you show us the...
Absolutely. So while you picked that up, Paul, I just want to say that I was lucky to be part of that well and during there, and then with Mauro, as we, at that time, I was part of Vetco Grey and providing the wellheads, and I certainly remember that wellhead when I came back. It was all bent.
Yeah.
And And I remember then when we installed this, and we had Gert Juncker with us at that time.
Yes.
With the geotechnical guy more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we were also hammering in the conductor at that time, right?
Yeah.
No, Harald, so show us your toy here.
Here, when trying to sell this new concept, I had to make a model, of course.
Yeah.
And as you can see here, the model is made up of a conservus tin, and I got also an ROV model from Oceaneering. So with this on top, this is approximately what it looked like in the beginning.
Yeah.
So we used the ROV for pumping out the water inside the can and creating the underpressure, which again is creating a downward force.
Yeah.
And this area is about 300 square meters, so 1 bar suction means 300 tons push-in. So this was very handy in demonstrating how this would work.
You convinced Mauro at least.
Yep.
And maybe we should remember Bjørn Ellingsen as well.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah. Which was also part of that team and probably convincing Mauro to go that way.
And they both stuck out their necks to make this happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But, it took another 2 years before being able to sell the second project. Or actually, it was 2 projects in the beginning. But the next one was with Statoil. And I don't think this was a very much desired project by them, but they had inherited it from Hydro when taking over Hydro. This was at Peon, almost a shallow gas reservoir, and they needed full sealing towards the formation from top to bottom. So that was then they had to use the can to do that, and we installed it, and this was also a successful well.
I remember seeing some of the previous wells they had there. You could actually see the gas leaking up along the conductor. And very wobbly. And
yes, so I think, or as I understand it, they were not allowed to drill another well before they had found a solution that would give 100% sealing towards the formation.
This model, for me, makes it very much easier to understand the technology behind it. So, and
So, Harald, that was the beginning and where you came from. But I remember, and I think it didn't come through very well. So there was all these top hole challenges. But one day you said, when I asked you the question, probably for the nth time, why did you come up with this idea? You also mentioned something about land wells, and probably linked to the Borneo one.
Yeah, that's what I tried to explain in the beginning. Because land wells in the jungle, if you like, to start the wells, we had in a Chinese contractor, Chongping, and they had an excavator, dug out what we call the cellar, and then constructed the cellar walls. And when then what was done, they brought in a piling machine. So the conductor was piled in, driven in. So then this was ready for use when the rig came.
So was that the sort of the driver for our first wells being hammered in the conductor inside?
Yeah. Because this say the CAN technology, it isn't a God-sent revelation where they woke up in the morning and had all ready. This has been a development, and we tried several sort of possibilities before we ended up where we were.
Yeah.
And you're right, on the first, say on the E&I wells, we jetted in the conductors. And then on the peon, we drove it. And the reason was that we were not sure how accurate we could install a can, the inclination. Because before we started with well cans, the cans, say the suction anchors, had only been used for mooring purposes. And for that purpose, you don't need an accuracy better than 3.5 degrees. So therefore, we were very curious on how accurate could we install them.
Exactly. I remember, so we had to, coming from the wellhead side at that time, we had to figure out how we could sort of land the wellhead at an angle relatively to the can.
Yes. So in the beginning, we didn't dare to put in a long inner pipe, because if we have 3.5 degrees with a can, we couldn't deliver a conductor better than 1 degree. So actually, through a more or less a problem at Dovregubben, where, say, the conductor from Vetco wasn't ready in time because of welding problems, I think, we had to drill through the can without any drill through the can for the conductor. And that proved to be a good solution. So, and we also had learned by that time that we could install the can with and control the inclination. So then we dared to make a full-length inner pipe. And that simplified the whole issue, because we didn't need a center lid anymore and a lot of problems. So as you see, there has been steps in this development. And once we were there, and we were the first ones to think about and plan for a can solution, we could find, or we could see, many other applications, like the BOP support, pre-installed conductor, like the Conductor, the can parking, and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it was strange to me that oil companies hadn't put any thinking onto this before we did, or I did. So, but time showed that it became interesting, and some people even wanted to take it away from us.
Yeah.
So, but that's another story.
That's another story.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we see how one thing lead to the other, and it's a way of maturing and experiencing. And so you had a long time there. So from established your company back in 2000, in February, or was it January 2000?
02.
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah. And until your first installation in 2006.
Yeah.
And then it's been gradually going. But then there is another milestone, I think, and that is 2015, which is up in the Barents Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Wisting field.
Oh, yeah. There has been so many, say, records and milestones. So I didn't reconnect at 2015 at once. But up at the Wisting field, then OMV had a challenge, because they could see and they knew they had oil at a shallow depth. And how could they manage to get down there? And they needed to get the well placed horizontally to be able to check the production possibility. And then we agreed and designed more or less together a can to be put in there. And we then drilled a world record shallow horizontal well. And here we drilled horizontal already at 215 meters or something like that below the seabed. And nobody had done that before. And this was also an enabler for OMV to prove that they could do this. And that meant also that they could develop the field.
But the other thing is, that's really where we first applied the Conductor, where the wellhead was really fully integrated.
Correct, yeah.
Taking away the installation of the conventional conductor inside our foundation.
And this was also another sort of driver for developing this, because the installation of the conductor in the old-fashioned way, where you had maybe 80 meters of hole where you put your conductor pipe in and cemented, that became the largest cementing job on the rig. So costly and unpredictable. And you always needed a service crew out. And then this became costly for the companies.
True. So, and then Harald, a little bit moving forward. So, in my mind, 2015 should be sort of a very important milestone for us, because then the value of the solution becomes so much more attractive, I think, to the customers, because they removed a lot of work, exactly to what you just explained about the cementing, drilling, and bigger cement job, and also things that we've been over and over again on a few of these episodes about the recirculability and all that stuff, and the safety around it. So Harald, and at that time, you also needed to mature your company a bit.
Yeah. And we started getting in more people. And, it also came to a point in time where I had to give the reins to somebody else. And it's very nice to see now that I have created a very interesting company, a company that is contributing to cleaner well operations, because we are polluting less, we are dropping less cuttings, we are using less or producing less CO2, and so on. It is a company that I think is going to develop very much in the future. We are just now starting to climb up the vertical part of the hockey stick. And last year was a very good year for us, and the future looks very bright. And of course, we couldn't have been there without good people in all positions, and dedicated people, and competent people. So we have been very lucky to create an interesting company to work in.
No, I think we all agree to that, Harald, but we're here to honor you, to sort of, and because we're now celebrating 25 years with the company, and on tomorrow actually we're gonna have a celebration of that. So looking forward to hear your speech, Harald, and we're not gonna tap into what you're gonna say, but other things. So we talked about where we came from, how we mature the company. You sort of alluded to that the future is bright, but a little bit more around the future, as you see. I mean, foundations. Any thoughts that when you're sitting on your bench and you're looking forward, well, what comes to your mind?
Yeah, I think we are now progressing well in the way of making people aware of the value of the can. Of course, I've been a missionary for the can technology for 20 years, and now it's very nice to see that what we have been preaching is almost becoming a gospel. You know, it's nice to see it's being accepted. I think we are coming to a point where drilling engineers, when they are designing wells, will have the can as the first choice. The old-fashioned way will be the second choice, and they have to explain thoroughly to their employers and bosses why they did not choose the can. Because I think it is safer, it's cost competitive, it's giving safer wells, not only safe in installation, but safer wells. So there are no good arguments for not using it. So I think automatically this is going to be the coming standard. And I'm proud of a couple of things in this context. One is that I've been so lucky that I've been able to make my own footprints on the industry, which has given me so much. I invented the trade name CAN, and this is now a name that is properly glued to the industry. I'm also proud of the fact that I've created jobs, interesting jobs for young people. And, the fact that we now also contribute to a cleaner environment.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you should be proud. It's you've really made a difference in the industry.
Absolutely. And we're still seeing Harald almost weekly as he makes sure that we have sufficient and proper food in the canteen.
Yep.
And so far he seems to be satisfied. Otherwise he wouldn't be returning.
No.
No, it's always good fun to come in and discuss what's going on.
So tell us, how are you involved now? In what?
I'm the chairman.
You're the chairman
of the board. And last year I also participated in following up the construction of 4 cans in Romania. So I spent 5 weeks down there. So every now and then I can be useful or be used.
And make sure they have good food.
Yes, definitely.
And Romania, good wine, I think. As well.
Yeah. No, but I'm a farmer, and it was important for the farmer to check that the employees or dränger had sufficient and good food so that they could work well.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Awesome.
So besides that, but so you're board, you're on the board, but what else in your spare time now, or you're not sort of knowing you're not just sitting and waiting for the next meeting.
No, it's always something. A little bit of history related to the oil business, and I think there is a lot of work needed to also document the developments that has taken place in Norwegian drilling technology. Because when the Americans came here, the Texans came here in say, end 60s, they could drill, but they didn't understand the sea and the ocean. So the combination of Texas drilling knowledge and Norwegian seafarer experience, that has been magic. Building the new and better rigs, the Aker rigs. When I started in the industry, we were told, do not deviate your well more than 60 degrees because the wireline tools won't fall down. Now we are drilling flat. Yeah. They are drilling branches and so on. And most of this was developed in the North Sea, Norwegian sector. So there is a lot to be told, a very nice story to be told.
Absolutely.
And you're working on documenting these stories?
No, I'm not. But I wouldn't mind participating.
He's doing it now.
Yeah, you're
As
doing
we speak.
by sharing. Yeah.
But also, would you recommend the youngsters today to join the oil and gas industry?
Oh, definitely. But I think it is not as easy to be brave today. Because before, you could use your judgment and say that, okay, we want to do it this way. Today, everything is run by procedures, and you have to be very hard-headed and convinced to again convince your boss that doing it in another way is better. Because the old mantra is, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I think we had more fun before. Yeah. But I still recommend the youngsters to start in the oil business.
But I guess it's like with anything, money talks. So if there's a good value case, there's probably also a reason for try something new.
Yeah,
unless it can be if it can be balanced with the risks, of course.
Yeah. But it requires a lot of paperwork, and it requires a boss that is willing to put his neck on the block and say that we go for this.
We need some more morals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which again requires an open environment where you dare to speak up on your ideas, I guess. Yeah.
Harald, it's been a pleasure. We could probably be sitting here talking to the very late hours, but I don't like to sort of stretch out. I think we learned a lot about Harald Strand.
It's been really...
A farmer.
Yeah, it's been really fun and interesting.
Inventor and traveler, a father, a great husband, and a fantastic colleague. So what's going forward, Harald? It's going to be more of the same, as you said, documenting the history and making sure that you're...
and enjoying the success of Neodrill, of course.
Yeah.
And
having some spare time, I hope, now. You worked hard for a long time.
It's when it's fun, you don't feel it's hard. So, yeah.
That's the best way to work, isn't it? Yeah. To have fun and develop.
Absolutely.
It's been really fun to hear the story. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Harald.
My pleasure.
Looking forward to have you in my office again and brainstorming and challenging me on decisions and so on. So, thank you.
Thank you.